broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
We're enjoying some tunes from Ciara, the guest judge on tonight's episode of Project Runway. It's season 14, episode 9, Make It Sell. We already know how to make it work, and these ladies always make it work.
Hey guys, this is Vivian Adobe. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at VivaciouslyViv.
And this is Michelle Uberreste. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Uberreste.
And you can find me, Amanda Fields-Bennett, on Twitter and Instagram at The Runway Queen.
And real quick, I wanted to give a shout out to Steph C. Everyone has been mentioning her in comments, and right now she has a little bit of conflict with another show she does on AfterBuzz, but hopefully she'll be back before the season's over. So keep watching.
Yes, I believe the conflict is how to get away with murder.
Yes.
And that's a good conflict to have.
It's a great one.
That's understandable. And we wish she was here and able to do both. But thank you for the shout out. That was great.
Right. Actually, she's in London right now. So, yeah, Jets game. You know, she's a huge Jets fan. So, if you guys voted for her for Red Hot Reporter, you know, good job.
Thank you for that. And that's very exciting to hear. So, tonight, we have a Just Fab Fabulous Challenge. It's online fast fashion, and this was a fast challenge. And we have fashion director of Just Fab, Yu-Chin Mao, and she is with Tim Gunn in the workroom. She presents the challenge by saying our customer shops by a style persona. And I don't know if you guys out there have used justfab.com to shop, but it's fun. You kind of get to take a little quiz, a style quiz, and you get to choose, like, okay, if you were going to go out for this event, what would you choose for a shoe? Or if you're going to choose your 3 items to have on a deserted island, what would you pick?
It kind of feels like one of those BuzzFeed quizzes.
Yes.
Which makes it so much more fun. I love that it's kind of like working with a stylist, because once they figure out what your, you know, what your theme is, what your choices are, they kind of, you know, format all of the items that are available to you towards that style, which is awesome, especially if you're lazy or on the go or completely clueless.
I feel like we all have those parts of our personality, but it's different. Well, it's different how those parts of your personality come out in an outfit. So it's good that they have that persona, because usually you will gravitate to the same type of garments over and over again. At least I do.
Definitely. They even say, you know, when you're doing something like hosting, like we are, you're supposed to know your audience and cater to whoever you think the persona of your audience is. And we know our audience is fashionable and stylish, so we try to do the same.
Yes, and that was very smart and well put, Vivian. So we have Bombshell, trendsetter, girl next door, modern classic, and Femme Nouveau. So, of course, from last week, Candice is the winner. So she gets to go up and pick what persona she wants to design for. She chooses Bombshell, and then we're getting a bombshell dropped on us because she gets to pick every designer's category for the challenge. So she has this, like, power. She could either make it really tough for everyone, or, well, it's never easy on Project Runway, but a little bit easier. Give them something that they would be naturally geared toward.
I was surprised she wasn't more of, like, a jerk with this.
Yeah, I know. It's getting to the end. Candice, you know.
No, I mean, I completely agree with her. She basically said, you know, if I am going to win a challenge or win at anything, I don't want to win because I made other people fail.
That's great.
And I think it's totally on point. I completely agree with that. That would be my strategy too.
And she's like, well, they'll fail anyway.
And also, going back to one of the previous episodes where she kind of looked like the leader of the Mean Girls pack, I think it was also probably, saving grace, not so good to, make herself look bad by making everyone have hard personas for their styles.
Well, and I don't know if you noticed, but in that Mean Girls challenge, of course, Ashley was chosen last, and this week she chooses Ashley first.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
All a full circle.
I did not notice that.
I was like, yay, Ashley! So,
redemption.
Yes, so we're going to run down who gets which persona. So Ashley gets Girl Next Door. Laurie has Modern Classic. Merlene has Femme Nouveau, which is supposed to have a romantic sensibility. Bombshell is Edmond and Swapnil, and Trendsetter is Candice and Kelly. So they're off to Mood. They have to keep this in mind. It has to be a high fashion look at an affordable price and easy for JustFab.com to produce and sell. They have a $100 budget at Mood, 30 minutes to shop, and 1 day to create the look. So, what did you guys notice at Mood?
Well, my first thoughts initially is just that I felt everyone's personas fit them perfectly as far as, except for Marlene.
Except for Merlene.
Yeah.
I felt for her.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough one for Merlene, I think.
I think it would have been a better fit for Laurie, maybe.
Her dress last week, though, was pretty Femme Nouveau. Kind of dark, but it was very romantic.
Yes. Describe it again, because I need a little refresher.
It was kind of a long black gown, and it had that glitter lace print on it with the big shoulders made out of the boning.
That's right, and she was afraid that it was too safe because it was all black, because she usually is so loud.
Yeah.
But it was very well done.
I think it was too. But it was kind of that Renaissance
romance.
Right.
Because they were going to they were inspired by
the Broadway.
Yes, Peter Pan, Finding Neverland.
Right. So I think she's capable of it, but it's not necessarily her strong suit.
Or it's not what she would naturally gravitate to.
Right.
Okay. Well, yes, I like how you put that, how you described the look, because this show has had so many incredible pieces, and this season has been pleasantly surprising. Because at first I wasn't so sure about the designers, but I think I get that way every single time. And then as more as I get to see from them and get to know the designers, I'm more and more impressed week to week. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
I feel overall the designs don't wow me as much as previous seasons. Like, I think back to when Christian Soriano was competing, and every week just the craziness that you would see on the runway, but how beautiful everything was. I felt like it was more creative and just more high fashion and more aspirational.
And it was like, wow.
Yeah, there were more wow moments. This runway was, something I could go to the mall and see, which is what I watched the show for.
You mean this week?
Yeah, this week.
I agree. I think that was part of the challenge, was like, how do I create a high fashion look with a $100 budget that's also easy to sell online?
That's true, but I think they still could have pushed it further. It wasn't as...
Some designers needed to push it further, and some needed to rein it back in, like Kelly.
Yeah.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah, but I could see that as totally commercial as well. But overall, the runway, to me, you can create things that are commercial but that are fresh and new.
Exactly.
If someone's already done it and it's out there, then you're behind the curve. So I didn't see anything particularly innovative. I kind of liked what Merlene does and things like that. But a lot of this stuff I was thinking I could go online and shop that.
It's already there on either
I can
Forever
go to the
21.
little Koreatown store, get the dress for $5.
Oh,
they have tons of designers.
A similar silhouette.
Yeah, you could. Again, it was kind of an interesting challenge because you wanted to give them what they wanted, but at the same time, show who you are as a designer.
Which they all struggled with to an extent, especially Swapnil.
Oh, Swapnil.
He struggled with it this one.
He has been saying that he wants to push himself and work 200% in the workroom and really create wow pieces. But I feel like he had his wow moments already. Maybe he blossomed too soon.
Maybe he's already peaked.
I wonder if the designers are just getting totally exhausted at this point. Like they need a day off or something, because it's it seems like it's kind of totally widespread throughout the workroom. Like, everyone's just like kind of
Fading.
Dazed and confused.
Yeah, and I'm like, a lot of the, I mean, okay, you have 7 designers left, and a lot of these people have really good ideas. We've seen cool and interesting stuff come from them, and this episode was just like, what happened?
So, Michelle, speaking from your experience on Under the Gun, what did it feel like when it got to be like 3-4 episodes in?
I mean, you get exhausted, and you get, you lose your heart a little bit. Sometimes you go in front of the judges and you don't know how to take it, or you don't understand what's, and everything's happening so fast, and I mean, it's a lot of hours, a lot of work, so it's hard to know where you even stand, and it's not only physically tiring but mentally exhausting as well. So
Do you think the mentally exhausting can affect how the contestants interpret the challenges
definitely
too?
just, I mean, it's so stressful. The least, you have less designers, so anybody can go, so you're thinking you have more of a chance each challenge that you're gonna go home. You can't just be safe anymore. So it's more stressful. So you go in the workroom, and instead of thinking and creating, it's more like, I have to perform, and I think it's more stressful, and instead of thinking and being creative,
You don't get to just be.
it's tough. You just kind of block, you know what I mean?
And you have to work in a workroom with all these other people all the time. You don't really get your own creative room.
Yeah.
Well, in the workroom, I noticed that, Swapnil was struggling because he had spent a lot more time on other pieces in the past. And he works quickly, but maybe not as thoughtfully this week. Tim Gunn comes up to him and says, well, Swapnil, haven't we seen this dress before? This doesn't look like anything innovative. It looks like a simple silhouette. And Swapnil was trying to explain, well, yes, but it's Bombshell. It should be sexy. It should be fitted.
It is, but there can be something special about it. It doesn't have to be so basic. And that's where, at this point in the game, yes, they might be exhausted, but shouldn't you have learned how many people have been eliminated? You've had, 9 challenges already.
Expand your horizon, Swapnil.
Anyway, but
well, not just Swapnil, but everybody.
And I think too I feel like with the Bombshell persona, a lot of them, well, it's only 2 of them, Swapnil and Edmund, rely too heavily on kind of expected colors.
I agree.
They're relying on the model's body.
Yeah.
I was like, in my head, Bombshell, I think Sofia Vergara, and then literally what they were producing in the workroom kind of mimicked what you would see her wearing on Modern Family, or...
And they're not trying to break the mold.
It was so predictable.
Yeah.
Basic.
As far as, yeah.
So basic.
Well, Tim Gunn came up to Swapnil and he said, well, they were talking about how he's seen this before. And he said, you're incriminating yourself. Think of the judges as a jury. And, well, I know I stole the item. I know I killed her, but please don't send me to jail.
That was a great impersonation.
Tim Gunn quote of the evening. And thank you.
I'm going to blow that up and put it on my wall.
Yes. Don't send me to jail. Fashion jail.
And he still didn't listen. He's just like, okay, I'm going to make this basic leopard dress.
And then he puts this white frou-frou over it. And that was not the best description. And
It totally was the best description.
We will get to the photos soon. But he had this very sexy, full-length gown, fitted from neck to the feet. And it skimmed over the model's body in a cheetah print. And it was sleeveless. It was almost backless.
Except for like the white straps at the back.
White stripes. Yeah.
White stripes. White straps.
He was trying to mimic the straps on the Just Fab shoes into the dress. And he was like...
But why were they white?
Yeah, I didn't like
it was
the white.
very strange. If they would have been black, I think he would have been like
Yeah,
rivaling Edmonds.
use a color
dressing.
from the print in your dress that's already there.
It was very strange.
So he went with a white strap and part of a piece of jewelry to cover up his horrible zipper in the back. and sewing the girl in, and then he created this like vest-like thing.
It was pretty much just a cocoon.
It was like a bolero wannabe.
Yeah.
A bolero wannabe, silky, drapey mess. And it was in white, so it didn't have the elegance factor or even the bombshell factor.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, I need to put something else over.
And he was married to it in the workroom. He was like, oh, I need it to be me. I need it to be me. But it was like the worst thing on the model's body. Yeah.
You are more than that.
Right. And one thing I thought was really interesting was that since they started this narrative of Swapnil being, kind of lazy, not giving his all.
Well, but he's not lazy.
Well, not lazy, but not giving not reaching his full potential with each competition. They've always paired him with Candice in that realm. Like, she's always the one who's, like, commenting on it. And it didn't really hit me till this episode because it's, like, the third episode where it's always Candice who's mentioning something. So, I don't know, I just found that interesting because no one else really speaks about it.
Perhaps Candice does work really hard, and she feels that even with her hard work, she has her set go-to kind of style and color palette. And maybe she's a little jealous that Swapnil seems to have such creative freedom. He picks such different colors week to week, different silhouettes week to week. And then maybe it's just, that's easy for him to go to because he loves a lot of color.
Mm-hmm. But look what Candice made in a day. A jacket and a very detailed skirt. Swapnil makes a basic dress with some straps to hold it together.
Right.
And took some white fabric, fluffed it together, and tied it somehow, like in a day.
So Candice should not be jealous of Swapnil.
I don't think so.
Maybe it's frustration.
But
I think
maybe,
it's definitely frustration.
Maybe she's still, even though she seems confident, maybe she's still trying to find some confidence when she's talking about that.
Maybe. I mean, to me, it would be frustrating, too. Like, you're in the game, you're getting down to the last designers, and there's people still there that you're like, okay, well, they're not working as hard as I am, and I'm at risk, and, why are the judges, like, getting into his stuff when he has been, like, slacking off?
That's a really good point.
That would irritate me.
That would make me feel a little crazy.
Yes.
But speaking of crazy, there's a new show on CW we have to talk about. For a second. It's called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and guess what? It's a musical.
Wow.
And let me tell you, I miss Glee. I was a Gleek. And, okay, I don't know about you guys, but have you ever, like, gone online and stalked an ex-boyfriend?
No.
All of them.
No.
Every single one. And future ex-boyfriends stalking you currently.
Oh, future ex-boyfriends. Whoa, what is happening
Putting it
here?
out into the universe.
So we've all done something crazy for love or for heartbreak. Either way, chances are, if you aren't the crazy ex, if you don't have a crazy ex, you are the crazy ex.
There's some craziness somewhere.
I can't even explain it because I feel a little crazy. I've definitely been that before.
Well, tell me more about the show because I'm really interested right now.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a girl, Rebecca Bunch. It sounds like brunch. She's always
crazy.
Yeah, she's always been a little crazy about one special guy. Her very first love. She does get a second chance 10 years later.
Aww.
Then she meets him again a decade later. So she has the second chance at her first love. And she's trying to figure out her life. She's like, how did I end up with him 10 years later? I didn't think this was ever going to happen for me. I was hoping it would happen. But she's leaving her dream job for this guy.
Whew.
She's flying across the country. She was in New York City. She's following this guy to West Covina, California. The beach is only 2 hours away or 4 hours in traffic. So she's trying to figure out what she really wants in life. She's at this point where she could choose a lot of different things. A lot of different paths are offered to her, which I think a lot of people can relate to.
Definitely. Especially when you're at that point where it's like, ooh, family, career advancement, time's a ticking, people are asking me what I'm doing with my life.
Biological clock.
So tell us, when does the show air?
Okay, this is on the CW network. The series premiere is Monday, October 12th at 8/7 Central. And yeah, it's P.S. It's from the writer of Devil Wears Prada and the director of 500 Days of Summer.
So perfectly ties into our audience, so you guys should totally watch.
And they're dancing and singing into our hearts. Okay, that was really cheesy, but I want to watch it. So anyway, just a little side note about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I've been seeing the posters all over town, and I thought, maybe we should talk about it because I'm kind of into it.
Right, and it's actually really funny because I feel like a lot of the outfits that are being made in the workroom could be attire for Crazy Ex-Girlfriends. You just running down, running in their heels, keying cars.
Well, Kelly's vest on her outfit. Ooh, that's either going to be really chic or really crazy. I think Zach Posen said that she killed Cookie Monster.
It was funny because she was cutting like the fur, I guess, of the jacket.
The fur.
I wasn't quite
Vegan
sure what it was.
fur.
And the faux fur. The
yeah.
faux fur. Let me clarify. Mm-hmm. And she said, it's like my boyfriend because he cuts hair. And I was just seeing the hair fall. The faux fur fall. I was like, ugh.
Faux fur fall. It's for real. Oh, man, it's about to get real. Let's talk about the Runway Rundown. We're about to have our little pictures up on the screen for you so you can get a feel for what we saw on our TV. And if you're listening on the podcast, we really appreciate it. We're going to do our best to describe everything in detail.
Oh, wait, but they get a twist to the challenge as well.
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle. Tell us about the twist.
So they get to create their own label, which they get to print on a T-shirt using the Brother garment printer.
It's finally of use.
Only took 9 episodes.
Yeah. It's like been sitting there, and the designers are like eyeing it,
precariously placed in the corner of the room. Oh, brother.
Big brother.
Yeah. So that was cool. The designers created their label, how they want it to look, how it will be placed in the garment. And they also had it, like you said, on the T-shirts. And I like that they also got to choose different color T-shirts.
Yeah, and different cuts.
Yeah.
And it was interesting seeing the logos that they designed for themselves. And the names, some of them were creative, some of them were simple, which is fine. But I just loved seeing the logos and the fact that they had to design the logos themselves, which, I mean, I guess as a designer you should be able to, but it's just a different thing.
The one thing I did not appreciate was like, Edmund, you use like Times New Roman.
I know.
Font 12.
Oh, come on! That was like, aw.
I mean, I think
Word.
I think a logo and even just the label design is super important, and it's like the cherry on top of your garment.
Right.
It's another expression of who you are as a designer. So I felt like some of them had cool ones, and yeah, Edmonds.
So your name is Michelle Uberreste.
Yeah.
And your label is Uberreste.
It's my whole name, but I have a logo that's, it basically is a combination between the symbol for micron, which is an MU.
Oh, yes.
Greek, and with the umlaut on top from my last name. And then, like, I use black rubber for my labels because that's my, like, futuristic twist.
See, that's creative. That's what I was hoping for.
Hello,
yeah.
Like,
sexy and cool. And
probably
crazy.
the most creative ones I saw was Ashley Neal Tipton's, just because, it had her name, but the end was it was bigger than the rest of the name, and it included all parts in it. And I just thought it was a really nice look. But Candice's, it just said Cuoco, but the styling of it.
And that was my favorite.
So trendy. Like, I could see girls just getting the shirt because the Cuoco looks so good.
Yeah. I like Merlene's, too. She had kind of a bunch of boxes with little dots, and she had her name at the bottom, Provoke Style. That one was interesting, too.
And it was a cool name, too, Provoke Style.
Yeah.
Kelly had an interesting one, too, Rack Addict, and tagging right on her rack. Which, of course, Heidi had to point out.
It looked like, is it Addict or Attic?
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And she's like, it's a play on words. I'm like, okay. Here you go, girl. So, our first look coming down the runway is the one we talked about the most tonight, Swapnil Shinde. He is a Bombshell persona. Mm-hmm. And by the way, this model is incredible. Her makeup was so beautiful. Mary Kay, you did your job. And her body is definitely making this dress sing. I think, it was on the right person at the right time. She definitely sold it really well on the runway. Mm-hmm. My words were sexy, fun, and sassy.
Ooh, what did you rate it?
Oh, I would say this is a 7.5 because I think even though it could be more in the design world, I think any woman would feel confident in it because it is a sexy cheetah print. It is a sexy shape. And yeah, you feel kind of sassy. So yeah, 7.5.
Okay, so I thought that it was really safe. I thought the bolero jacket, vest, whatever, was blah. It's just like a big white thing on top of her cute cheetah print dress. But I wasn't a big fan of the dress anyways because I felt like, you know, he could be so much more creative. Yeah, it's ready to wear, but I could get a similar silhouette at Kmart for less.
Kmart.
I mean, Kmart has some good stuff. Target too, but
oh yeah, hey,
yeah, especially Target. Maybe this is more Target than Kmart.
Okay,
but
Target. Okay,
Target. But I think he underperformed, and I gave him a 6.
Oh, okay.
So my first impression was like the weird cocoon humpback part of it.
Oh.
And it was like two different things. And again, you know, I agree with you, Vivian. Like, it was just super basic and boring. I like that it was a gown and not like a short dress, but is that harder to sell? I don't know. I mean, I guess he met the challenge sort of, but it's not like particularly attractive to me with the white stripes. And
Yeah.
You're right. It is harder to sell because of the length.
Right.
So many
like,
women would say, this is way too long for me.
it's not even like a maxi dress. It's like a gown because
Yeah.
it's got a tail and everything. So, I mean, I think selling this, I do like the silhouette that he, you know, didn't go like tight pencil dress. That would have been even more like trite for me, but I gave it
That's a great word. Trite.
it's I
Put
mean
that in my lexicon.
he could have done so many things. He had the leopard and he could have done his like strap detailing that he's kind of known for or something. So I was really bored. I gave it a 5.
Okay. Moving on. We're bored. Let's go to the next picture. We have Kelly. This is the opposite of boring. And we're, oh yes, coming down the runway with Cookie Monster's cousin. I wrote, it was kind of a Lower East Side vibe, but she's got a bathroom rug on her back. It wants to be athleisure, athletic leisure. It wants to be that, but the vest is throwing me off. I know the category is trendsetter, but girl, that is too many trends in one outfit. It's like confusing me. It's a 6.
I actually really liked it. I feel like it's very hip and very young. I could totally see, you know, who are the trendsetters right now for like the younger generation. Kylie
Miley
Jenner.
Cyrus.
Yeah, Kylie, Miley, just anything with a Lee at the end of it.
anything E.
Ugly.
No, but I liked it. The best isn't, you know, for everyone. The Beauforts, but I did think it was fun. You know, very trendy, and I initially thought she looked like a workout Barbie from the 80s.
Workout Barbie. Also,
Yes.
these are those little dumbbells.
Workout Barbie.
Oh, no.
You know, I actually gave it a 10.
A 10?
Yeah, because I just thought it was so different. And as far as Just Fab, not so much the best. I don't think it would do well on it, but the 2-piece, I felt like that would do well.
Well, it can make it more expensive when it's more than one piece. And
You can wear them separates. I would wear the top and, you know, like a solid bottom.
you can mix and match.
Yeah, mix and match.
Well, I am forgetting to describe it to our podcast listeners. It is a pair of leggings that are high-waisted and fitted, and it has 2 patterns going on. Mm-hmm. On her left leg, there is a floral, and the floral continues to half of the right leg vertically, and then we have a black and white stripe going down the right leg. Then we have a crop top with midriff showing, and then the vest, zip-up vest of faux fur that is
blue.
Very blue.
It's very blue.
Okay, Michelle, and what were your thoughts?
I wrote 80s Barbie too.
80s workout Barbie.
Maybe early 90s Saved by the Bell, something like that. Yeah. It's super hipster to me. Like, hipsters are wearing this right now.
Yeah.
So it's super trendy.
I am not a hipster because I don't know. Okay.
This is like, to me, it's already going on, so I don't know if it's a trendsetter, but I think it's pretty, you know, forward for what's going on right now.
Maybe it was a trendsetter because, you know, they probably filmed it in the summertime.
Maybe.
So maybe she was ahead of the curve.
But, I mean, I think it's still pushing the envelope, and it's Kelly's style. She's kind of taking it to a new level. I'm surprised there wasn't, like, a backpack.
Oh, that would have been so cute. She had like a cute little leather backpack or something.
Maybe it wasn't available on the Just Fab accessories wall.
I'm surprised she didn't make one.
Oh, yeah.
I like the styling, and I think the belt was cute, and I think this is totally...
Belt?
Yeah, there was a little belt on the
There was a
fur.
belt that had the floral pattern on
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that she had tie it just on the back of the vest. She didn't tie it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Yep. I gave her an 8.
You guys like that one more than me. Okay. Moving right along, we have Merlene. And she created the Femme Nouveau look on the runway.
Yes, this
Oh.
white number.
I just kept writing bedsheet, shower curtain, sad napkin.
Oh.
It's just, the whole thing is sad for me. And I know it's a great design on paper. It had all the elements there she was trying to combine, but it wasn't executed well, so it made it look sad. And I thought it wanted to be more than it was, so that's why I gave it a 6.5. Because I liked her idea, but it could have been easily a 9 if she sewed it to perfection.
I see what you say. What you're saying with the aspirational, with the different ideas that are displayed in this, white number. But I feel like it was too much going on. The judges mentioned the whole peplum thing and how she has a peplum going on, and then she has not an asymmetrical skirt, but kind of two different things going on with the hemline of the skirt.
And originally in the workroom, sorry to interject,
No, go ahead.
but Tim noticed she was trying to make a fitted skirt and then an asymmetrical skirt to go on top of the fitted skirt. And he said, why can't that just become one piece? That's the bottom half of the dress. And she was
But
like,
you know what? I feel like
"Oh."
he gave that advice to Ashley. Ashley in a previous challenge when she had that. Actually, maybe it was just last week, the one with the long piece and the shorter one, and it didn't really go so well for her in the time constraints that they had. And I feel like that's what ended up happening to Marlene. And I didn't like it whatsoever. I think it was cheap, sloppy. It made me think of athletic wear because of the netting.
The mesh.
Yeah, the mesh. It made me think, oh, well, at least she can, have some air when she's sweating. I give it a 6. It's just,
Okay. Yeah.
I thought the idea was perfect. The proportions, the fabrication, everything was perfect to me. But this is like a minimalist look. So when you do minimalist, you have to sew everything perfect. And I don't know why it wasn't. Maybe she was struggling with the design, I don't know. But there's not actually a whole lot there to screw up. So maybe she was ripping things and putting them back together. Or maybe she's just not...
Maybe she didn't get her idea together in time.
Right, but
she
I
did
like
say
the
that she
idea.
was editing a lot.
I like the idea, but because of the execution, I gave her a 6.
Yeah. Oh, we did 6.5 and 2
Yeah.
6s. We
Yeah.
agree on this one. Wow. Yeah. And also, it didn't say romantic femme nouveau.
No,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's commercial enough.
No.
It doesn't fit just Fab. It doesn't fit the
It's-
persona.
It's too hard to buy online. How would you look at that and say, oh, I know what size I am in that?
I think if she would have kind of dialed it back a little bit, maybe the skirt underneath is just a pencil skirt and the peplum's just shorter and
that would
smaller.
have been very successful,
Yeah.
I think. Okay, moving on. We have, going from a white dress to a black dress. Candice, her look comes out on the runway. And I would say that this is a naughty nautical number. It is a leather sailor. It's a lot of things happening. It is a trendsetter, so she is trying to do something different and a little bit of a mix of trends. And now that I'm looking at it again, I also think that this scarf detail wants to be like it was a sweater that she tied around, kind of almost a preppy look.
Definitely.
But it's a little confusing, but I give it an 8 because I do see that she was going in a different direction, and it was a little bit of a nice surprise, and I thought it was cool. All right.
I can see the cool. I thought of Upper East Side Catholic schoolgirl. Very
On the weekend.
yeah. No, going to school. This
Oh.
would be the antithesis to Gossip Girl's Blair Waldorf.
Oh, yes,
maybe one
okay.
of her minions or something like that. Kind of a little gothy prep. But yeah, I liked the idea. For my personal style, I didn't really like the striped scarf. So one of the other judges mentioned it too. I wasn't a huge fan of it.
It was Nina.
Nina, yeah, she mentioned it, and I agreed with her. I gave her a 7 because it was executed well, but I wasn't a huge fan of it.
It's not your
personally.
style.
Yeah, it's not my.
Even though you would look cute in it.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. By the way, this is an A-line skirt that's above the knee. It's all black with white details. The top is a long sleeve sweater sort of thing, and it has this black and white stripe scarf attachment, like a 2-in-1 type of look. Okay, Michelle.
So this was just like sailor goth.
Nice.
I think she said it best on the runway. She's like, I'm trying to set too many trends here. I think if she just would have either focused on the jacket or the skirt, it would have been more successful. Like the jacket.
Oh, it is a jacket. I was calling it a sweater.
I think it is. Yeah, I think she used neoprene for the jacket. I kind of just hated that tie thing in the front. It just looks weird and preppy.
Yeah.
I think the stripe was really cool detail. She should have just made like a really tailored jacket with the stripe detail. And then with the skirt, I like the idea of the ruffle skirt on top of the other skirt, but it wasn't placed well. I think if she would have taken a little extra time to either figure out a better placement for the skirt or just make it simple, it would have been much more successful. I gave her an 8.
Okay.
Ooh,
It was
also
polished.
said an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is something that's wearable.
Definitely.
So next we have Ashley coming down. Her design is the girl next door. And to describe this look, we have an A-line skirt that fits at the natural waist, a crop top that's really super high, like right under the boobies,
Yes.
and a jacket that is like a motorcycle girl jacket that's like a
Gold. Like a
lighter
rose
shade of
gold.
gold. Yeah, rosy gold.
Yeah, it's rosy.
So I just wrote girl next bore. This was boring to me. I expected more from Ashley. I agree with Tim Gunn. I'm not a fan of that fabric that she used for the look underneath. However, when the judging was happening and they had the model take off the jacket, I liked the top so much more. There was more happening, and the model looked really cute in it. And the more I looked at the look, wow. Okay. The more I looked at it, the more I enjoyed it. And I gave it a 7. It's kind of right there for me. It started out boring and got more interesting. What did you think?
I thought the model looks cool and sweet and like the popular girl in school, very much with the girl next door theme. This is my kind of look, so I'm always,
yes.
I was watching, it's like, ooh, where can I get that? Like now,
Just
Ashley, send it over.
Yeah.
I liked the way she used the Just Fab accessories. It was also mentioned by the judges that she accessorized it well. It's very dainty, the accessories that were used. So from this photo, you might not notice as much, but when they were doing the judging, they were
close up.
You were able to see the small details that helped the look. The jacket is amazing. The two-piece itself, thank goodness that the judges brought up that you should take the jacket off because she was not selling the outfit as well as she should have. I didn't like the pattern of the two-piece whatsoever. I think that it was kind of dated and wasn't as fresh as the jacket. The jacket is what made this outfit. So I gave her a 9. And also I feel like she's done this look so many times.
Yeah.
So many times.
But it keeps working for her, so.
It's working, but she's going to have a whole collection of the same thing.
And we've seen that skirt before from so many other people, too.
Right. And I love the pockets, but every single outfit, it's the skirt with the pockets.
I thought it was girly but cool. It was totally on target with the girl next door. That's the exact vibe when it came out. I'd give her a 10 on that part of it. But I was just bored as well. I mean, yeah, these are all marketable pieces, but with the under pieces, the crop top, I don't know how sellable that is.
Also, how many people can wear that type of a crop top, especially to school? You can't do
That's
that.
what I'm
The
saying.
fast girl next door.
Oh, hey.
I don't know. I think that's limited. The circle skirt, sure, you can
Okay.
you can sell circle skirts all day long. The jacket's cool. I really like the pleating detail on the back, but I feel like she used all her time for that and then was like, oh, crap, I need to put something under this. And it was just, she wasn't pushing herself, and the judges mentioned it, too. I gave her a 7.
Oh, okay. Our final runway look of the episode is Edmonds.
Oh, you skipped Lori.
We skipped Lori.
Oh, I skipped it because I don't like it. That was a Freudian slip right there. Laurie, I could have just forgotten right about that look because it's very just boring. It is a one-piece dress that's trying to look like it's 2 pieces, a top and a bottom. It's a fitted blue pencil skirt that zips up in the back, and it wasn't finished very well at the top of the back of the skirt. It's a completely backless dress. So again, we have a boobie issue, a bra issue, and also, you know, trying to sell something like this to women of different sizes would not work so well. She uses, I think, a charmeuse.
I think it's organza.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Woo! Wrong fabric, sorry.
Borrowed organza, by the way.
Yeah.
That was not her original purchase.
Organza from Candice to make
Gifted.
the top, and she didn't even finish the top. It looked like some kind of crazy no-neck nightmare.
She just tied it together.
Yeah.
There was no even a sewing up there.
So it wasn't really an exciting design, and it wasn't even executed well. So that's what we're looking at. And I just said, no, girl, no. It's a no-neck nightmare, and if you watch America's Next Top Model, Tyra Banks is always telling the models, no, you have no neck in this picture. You have to pose, elongate your body, elongate your neck. And this model is standing very tall and proud, and she still has no neck. It's just not a flattering, I don't know. I didn't like the neck frou-frou-y. That's not a technical
What did you rate it?
I gave it a 4.5.
Ooh, that was so low. You
I
said nope.
I knew. I was like, this is, ooh.
See, I liked the idea she came up with. I thought that was very mainstream, the whole pencil skirt
What
and the top
idea?
thing. I mean, okay, yeah. Okay, so this is the idea I interpreted after seeing it on the runway, not from anything she did in the workroom, because the workroom for her was a hot mess, literally. But from the runway, I mean, this is something that's sold, the idea is sold everywhere. So for Just Fab, I think the idea was in line with them. The execution was terrible. I actually do like neck frou-frou, but I don't like how sheer the top was. Obviously, because it's organza and it's not meant for what she was making it go into. So I gave her a 7 just because the overall look is mainstream enough and commercial enough. It's just she didn't use the right fabrics or the right
Maybe she was
fitting.
thinking of the actual design being sellable.
Yeah.
But
there's no back.
No, the execution was
I-
not sellable. But the idea.
I mean,
the idea.
there's one thing to have like a backless dress that's kind of like slinky or whatever, but there's literally nothing holding this shirt on.
Wear it, though.
Not even Heidi would wear this one, guys.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
So what did you give her?
Oh, I gave her a 7 for
Oh,
the
okay.
overall.
I gave her a
Impression.
5, and that's generous, I think. This was like a Victorian secretary stripper.
Oh.
I
so
mean,
many things.
It's just so boring. Like, I think if she would have actually made a blouse out of this and looked at the proportions a little more, it could have been something. And then the skirt, I like the color, but there's nothing there. There's no even, princess themes on it. And she's not got any lining, even in the front part of this. I mean, she's basically got a rectangle that she gathered and tied onto the model's neck. Like, how easy would it be to sew another rectangle onto that to line that?
Hello.
What was she doing the whole time in the workroom? 'Cause
That's what I'm wondering.
She was making a different top with a V-neck, and she discarded
yeah.
it.
I guess, but I feel like there's something, sometimes you can save part of what you have.
So, Michelle, really fast, what, for our listeners, is a princess seam on the skirt?
On a skirt or a top or a dress, it's basically 2 lines that will go down kind of the side front of the body, so you can shape. You've got breasts, you've got a waist, you've got, butt. You have to have seams there to actually shape your body, or it's going to be pulling and doing weird things.
Would some people call it like a dart?
No.
No. I know it's not a dart. I'm just trying to clarify.
But it does the same thing. It's basically there to shape the body.
It gives it a shape.
Yeah,
So,
But something that does have shape is Edmonds' dress.
yes, we're going to have to speed through this one because we have to wrap up the show. So, Edmonds' dress is a bombshell. It's red. It's cute. It comes down the runway. And yes, she is a bombshell. It's fitted. It's red. It goes to the knee, and it has some nice strap work by the neckline and by the upper back. I gave it an 8.5 because it's smart. It is a bombshell girl. It's easy to produce for Just Fab, and it is very much their customer.
Same wavelength as you. I gave it a 10, not because I particularly loved it, but because as far as the challenge goes, he hit every mark. It's very bombshell because of the color, the fitting, the style, and it'll be cheap for Just Fab to make this look multiple times and make a high profit off of it, which is at the end of the day what they want. So go Edmund for that, but meh.
Okay. And Michelle.
It was a Bombshell, but it looks super cheap to me. It looks like one of those cheap $14.99 dresses you get on those like super cheap stripper websites.
Oh.
Like clubwear.
Clubwear. Oh, yeah.
I've seen it before. I'm really disappointed, and I haven't seen anything new from Edmonds this entire season.
But at least it was longer length than those clubwear dresses.
Barely.
A little bit more classy.
There's nothing there, and then the straps in the back. He's got her hair styled, so it's covering that. Probably because they don't look very good. They look messy to me.
What's your number?
4.
A 4.
We were just really disappointed.
Well, we're disagreeing on that one. The judges disagreed a lot tonight, but ultimately they picked Edmund as the winner, and Laurie is out with that black and blue number. Oh, it's like a bruise. By the way, one last point. Blake early in the season, and then Edmund, and then Kelly all have made these big blue pieces on their garments. Just a side note, this is like the season of big blue.
Interesting.
And with that, we're going to see you next time. Thank you for watching our little AfterBuzz Project Runway recap show. And follow us online. Keep commenting. Keep it coming on YouTube and iTunes and Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Runway Queen. And you can find these lovely ladies over here.
So you can always find me at vivaciouslyvivian.com and also on social media at vivaciouslyviv. And, tweet me. Not text me, but interact with us. And keep the comments coming. We're listening.
You wish you could text her. I know you do.
Everyone wants to talk to VIP.
I know.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Uberreste.
Watch us next week. It's going to get down to the final 5. Almost Fashion Week.
Yeah.
See you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.